unwind in upstairs of every kind. Old school thrills and modern frights. We're serving up screens for 60 nights. From ghastly new to aged gore, 2 months of chills, who could want more? It's Flex October, double the dread. Laugh till you scream or hide under the bed. From cheesy slashers to eerie cold, 2 months of horror, new and old.
This week, we're diving into The Mousetrap, a 2024 slasher film directed by Jamie Bailey. This film takes us into a twisted amusement arcade where a killer in a Mickey Mouse mask turns a birthday party into a deadly game. But did this B-movie trap us with its horror or leave us scrambling for the exit? Stay tuned to find out.
Once again, everybody, Rotten Tomatoes, Gary.
Let's do it. These
Rotten
critics,
Tomatoes.
I bet the critics love this one.
Yeah, well, not so much. I love Rotten Tomatoes, so I always go there to check films. And so Mousetrap, The Mousetrap, like the Ohio State, this is The Mousetrap.
The Mousetrap. Formerly Mickey's Mousetrap, for the record. They backed off the title because they didn't want to get sued.
Well, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, it would sue.
There's something to talk about. Rotten Tomatoes currently has this sitting with the critics. Gary, this doesn't surprise you. I was very surprised by this. None. There are no critical reviews of this film. The audience, though, has it sitting at 25. And 25. So clearly rotten. I'm not saying they're wrong.
1 in 4 people like this movie.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, yeah, The Mousetrap. But not to be confused with Agatha Christie's The Mousetrap, which is fantastic. Which is funny, when you sent this to me, I thought that's what it was. Like, they made another movie out of this? Awesome.
Yeah.
And then I see this, I'm like, oh, no, this is nowhere close to Agatha Christie.
I can watch Agatha Christie all day.
This is closer to Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, which, of course, as we all know, I'm a fan of. Gary, where do you rank this thing? How many, what's your ranking on this bad boy?
A quick reminder that our rating system is unconventional. We don't hand out stars, we hand out poos and TPs, up to 5 of them. And just to add more confusion, the more we give, the crappier we think the film is. Crappier, get it? Yeah, it's dumb, but that's the way we do it. I'm going to come at you with a multiple roll of toilet paper, or whatever we're going to use.
Yeah.
And give you a 4.5.
Oh, boom. I can't disagree with you, Gary. I actually came in at 4 on this.
Okay.
There are certain people in my life that I would say, yeah, watch it. If you've gone through everything on Netflix, even
and you're down to films, 2 movies, and you've got Creepypasta, and you've got The Mousetrap.
I would say definitely go with Mousetrap.
Definitely go with The Mousetrap.
Definitely, yeah. We're gonna be here all day, so
Vern.
Vern, beat your hand. Of course, these people are gonna be here all day, Vern.
Sorry.
So speaking of getting sued, dude, the disclaimer at the front of this thing, the Star Wars crawl.
Right.
I'm reading every bit of it and I'm giggling. I was like, yeah, this is well done, guys. I appreciate the humor in this.
Real quick on that note. So again, this was another one of those movies where my oldest daughter's down here and we're trying to find something to watch. And we rarely have a crossover. You know, I find stuff hilarious and she'll watch a movie and be like, that's a dumb movie, you know? So we don't generally agree a whole lot, but we were trying to find something. This, much like the Creepypasta story, this happened. It was like, we found this one and it was like, what the heck? Let's watch it. The crawl comes up that you're talking about. And see, there, my background.
Yeah, fix your graphic.
Let me fix that real quick. And then, so the crawl comes up and she's like, this is dumb. Like she's like, oh gosh, we're in for, you know, like this is gonna be terrible because the stupid crawl it to me. She's like, when is this supposed to be Star Wars or something? And I'm like,
Yeah.
Okay, so they are trying to be humorous here with the beginning of this thing. So dang it,
graphic. That should be in every episode.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. So there, you're right. I mean, I thought it was sort of funny because it just goes on and on. It goes on a little. It's like a Family Guy joke. You know, it just goes a little longer than it needs to.
Right. They held just a little long.
Yeah.
But I thought at the end, I was like, it's pretty funny. And then, of course, they did. And then we just realized we're doing a crawl. So we don't want to get sued by those people either. And I'm like, well done. Yeah. Well done, guys. I get your sense of humor. That's funny.
Right.
But that's where it stops.
Yeah. That was the enjoyment. That's where the enjoyment ends.
Now, I will say this. I mean, again, I gave it a 4, but I didn't hate this movie. I just think it was, again, not well done. You know, this is part of that. Wasn't it, Gary? You were telling me that this is one of those things like the copyright is expired.
Right. So the public domain for Steamboat Willie, I think earlier in the year, dropped on this. So they immediately announced they're going to make a movie, which I think, by the way, is a terrible reason to make a movie. For the record, it's in public domain now. Let's make a movie about it. I know that they're trying to capitalize off of an IP that's already been created. But the problem is, I think the people that are doing this, I'm sorry, I know you like Winnie the Pooh, but I think the people that are doing this, most of the time it's pretty shitty. It's garbage. Sure. And I'm just not there for it. I know you are, and that's fine. Everybody's got their own taste. It's just not something that I enjoy myself. And so when I saw this pop up, I'm like, Andy's going to want to watch this because of the whole thing. And
it's true.
But I will say this. Now, if you lock me in a room with Winnie the Pooh and this movie, and I'd prefer to watch this one, I actually got a little bit more out of this one than I did. I felt like like there was actually a little bit of potential in this movie.
Okay.
They just failed.
Oh yeah, that's true.
There was some interesting ideas, but then it just becomes this. I'm going too far. You've got notes. I've got something I want to say.
Fix your screen.
I'm going to fix my screen.
Well, I'll say this, Gary. You talk about like it's torturous to watch. It's crap, and I just want to allude to that. You and I, and my friend, are used to being tortured by things we love.
Yeah.
So my notes, and again, I didn't take a ton. I stopped. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try to watch this movie. I'm gonna make a few notes. The first note I wrote was acting, not great. There were just parts where I was like, oh man, like, and I get it. It's super low budget. I mean, it's hard for me to bitch about acting when I can always refer to I Love Clerks by Kevin Smith, and that acting was in general not good, but the writing was good.
Yeah.
So I can forgive some of it. If you have one of like, what was you had your like triangle of things? If what 2 of the 3 are there, then it's worth watching, or I don't remember.
Right.
Some kind of algorithm you did.
Right.
The British guy in the opening kind of sequence.
Mm-hmm. The writer of the film, by the way.
Was that him?
That's the writer of the film, yeah.
Okay, well, that's a little narcissistic. There were things that I just didn't quite. I mean, I think he was trying to show Steamboat Willie as kind of like a nod, but like the guy, he like leaves work early, or I guess this is his apartment at the place. Like I don't quite get that.
There's a lot of confusion on.
And he's gonna sit in this massive theater room and watch a Super 8 version of Steamboat Willie.
Right.
Honest to God, I mean, I have no beef with Mickey Mouse at all in Disney. Disclaimer: I love the Disney Corporation. I would never.
Did you say that so you didn't get sued?
I did. I would never sit down and physically watch Steamboat Willie ever in my lifetime. Now, again, I know there are people that do, and that's fine. But this guy goes to this massive studio, theater room, his man cave. And he's gonna have like a shot of something. And I guess he's a big collector because he's got the mask and this, that, and the other thing.
Right.
And he puts on the Super 8 film, and I'm like, okay, my guess. Now, what I didn't like is, again, because it's never explained. He hears noises.
Yeah.
He turns and looks into the projector. Now
I forgot about all this, by the way.
For you watching at home, the 4 or 5 of you that don't ever watch a soup, exactly. It's not that bright, and all you gotta do is step out of the way of it. If it's blinding you,
I know.
Why
it's right in front of it.
Are you staring at it?
I know. Oh man, I'm tearing up.
I'm on my couch going, what? Just step to the side.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what we were saying too. Like, are you joking?
That was just like, God. And that's where I started, like, immediately. I was like, walls are going up, bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
Like, this movie is going to be tricky.
Yeah.
As usual, Gary, I think you'll agree with me on this. The angsty teenage girl, I just wanted to kick her in the kidneys.
Pause. All right, we had a little bit of an interruption there. So, but to continue, the angsty.
So I hate this trope. It is in so many films of the teenage, and I don't know what is she supposed to be here? 19, maybe 20.
Yeah, I don't remember. I do know that there was drinking involved with this. Yeah. That was a whole lot. There's so many like little nitpicky things you can pick this movie apart with. But it's hard to know where to start.
This character, this archetype, I hate it. It's just so it's overplayed to me, and it's not played well. It's just like, you put it in context. This girl is sitting in a jail cell with 2 actors that are playing cops that are horrid.
Yeah.
I mean, the one dude who looks like the rougher bad cop, he's bad, just bad. She's got her back to him. Now she's been arrested. There's been a slaughter.
Yeah.
All of her friends have been murdered.
By the way, we don't care about spoilers, because if you watch this movie, you got freaking brain.
All her friends have been murdered by this guy.
Yeah.
She's in jail because she's the lone survivor. And she's just dropping attitude like, whatever. I'll tell you, but it's your funeral, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, you should be traumatized, like, oh my God, my friends are all dead. But no, I got to play this to the end of days. I'm going to be this dark, black, angry, not black female, I mean black, dark character, angry at the world. Screw you, copper, holding me down. I'm like, holding you down from what?
Yeah.
Jesus, shut up.
You did mention the cops, but that was another set of the worst acting I think I've ever seen.
Dude, how bad was that?
Oh, it was awful. And you know what? Can I clear up one thing that I said at the beginning? By the way, I've totally forgot about that whole cop.
Because I just saw it, so I'm very fresh. I know you saw it a while back.
When I said this movie has potential, the only thing I really meant was that you've got a place. It's got potential for a slasher film,
right?
Where everything falls apart. And keep in mind, 4.5 is a terrible score. So it's still not. Yes. I'm not trying to give it too much credit here, but there's potential in the concept of slasher film and an amusement park thing.
Yeah, guy wearing a mask, all of it falls into place.
Could have been cool. That's as far as it goes. So I just want to be super clear, especially as you point out these scenes that I've forgotten about.
Yeah,
this movie is terrible.
This has been seen. Like, this is Mike Myers. This is Freddy Krueger. This is Jason. Yeah. I mean, it's proven.
Yeah,
it's a proven formula. But you screwed that up somehow.
Yeah,
like, just again,
poorly
the writing
written.
Is bad.
The characters are written as worse than stereotypes, because I don't think anybody really acts like any of these people. So it's terrible writing, terrible character writing, terrible interactions. So the discussion, but like you said, between the cops and the girl, they're so unrealistic in their dialogue. It's ridiculous. And then you've got the terrible acting stacked on top of it. Yeah. None of it is pulled off in any type of fashion in any way. And the story, the setup for it with the guy and he's watching the Steamboat Willie thing and some weird shit happens and all of a sudden.
So
I still don't even know.
He hears a noise, which you presume, oh, that's the killer.
Right. Yeah.
But then are you telling me I don't even know. Is the guy, he's the killer?
I think he's the killer.
So what was the noises then?
Not only that, because I don't know. I don't know if the mask possessed him. I don't know.
That's what but he wasn't looking. The mask was to his side.
I know. I have one other question. I have a question for you.
Picture screen.
Damn it. As I was watching this, I was like, as I was watching, that's more entertaining than the movie, by the way.
It's way more entertaining.
As we were watching this, at one point, and now correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
At some point, was there two of them? Or did it just seem like there were two of them? Because I felt like for a while, the one killer had on a hockey jersey.
Well, he does.
And then he
doesn't make any sense because.
But he did at the beginning, right?
The British guy, well.
And he was also in another location.
Well, that's the thing, too. He disappears. He teleports.
It makes zero sense.
So again, this is where you, as a writer, you failed because there's no setup to this. There's just zero setup. It's like he's watching Steamboat Willie and all hell's breaking loose.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. That movie, it wasn't that bad of a cartoon, first of all. This would have made more sense if you hear in the background on the radio's playing, news story, killer on the loose, be careful out there. But the kids are ignoring it. He breaks into the place. He needs to hide himself. So you see the hand reach and grab the mask. He becomes the killer. I just wrote a better movie for you on the fly.
Right.
But you make the British dude who doesn't want to stay over and work. He makes the two teenage girls stay over and work, and he goes up to his lair. He watches the movie. He's blinded by the light. I mean, it's just. Have you not seen a horror film?
Dude, what was the deal with the light where they were using the flashlights to stop him or whatever, and then all of a sudden it didn't work?
Okay, that's another thing. So clearly the flickering light of the Super 8 film is what triggers this guy, right? Somehow these geniuses, it's never explained where they get the flashlights, but they all have flashlights.
Yeah.
They all have this flashlights that are emergency flashlights. So when you hit the button an extra time, it strobes.
Yeah.
Which sends him into a convulsion. Maybe he's epilepsy or something. He loses his shit and he vanishes. Poof, I'm gone. I mean, I don't understand what's going on. Nothing is explained. And look, you expect us to suspend reality. I will do that. I'm fine.
Just you have to give me
some rules. I will ride along with you to a galaxy far, far away. I need parameters.
Right.
And I'm all about it. This thing just drops the ball completely. And it's not even that good of a slasher film because, I mean, the funny thing is that knife, I have a knife just like that in my butcher's block upstairs.
Yeah.
A squared off, not even a good slasher knife. That's not one you're going to poke well.
Well, why is he holding it like that?
He's got the dog end down. I mean, fucking no, Gary. Damn it.
That's a metaphor for this movie.
Dog end down. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Let me make another note. This will drive you nuts too. During the very intense interrogation with the girl with her back to him in the cell, every time she would say something happened, it's like, well, how did you know that?
Oh yeah.
You weren't there, right?
Right.
This one is interesting. He asked him about how did you know about the bullies roughing up Marcus, the nerd? The nerd guy, they were going to rough him up at the bar, right?
Yeah, right.
She knew about it. They were killed before Marcus got there to be roughed up.
Dude, I got so tired of the excuse of this person told me, or I heard the phone call or whatever. I got so tired of this is the way we're going to fix our narrative.
Exactly.
And I missed that because at that point I checked out.
I stopped the film. I was like, and I'm like, did I miss? So let me get this straight. The guy shows up in the hockey jersey and like, oh dude, he's early. And again, I don't know who these guys are. They're just sitting at some backyard tiki bar drinking.
Yeah.
The guy shows up who's their friend. He's wearing the Mickey Mouse costume. And he kills everybody.
Yeah.
But then she knew that they were going to beat up Marcus.
I don't know.
Everyone at this point is dead. Everyone at the Chuck E. Cheese is dead. Everyone at the bar is dead. So, I don't know how she survives, because I don't think it's ever shown how she survived. She's the only survivor. It's never explained.
Right. This was clearly, like I said at the beginning, trying to capitalize on the public domain of Steamboat Willie. Right? It's Steamboat Willie, isn't it?
Sure.
I think. I don't know. And I was checking my notes, but I don't see it. But yeah, terrible. It's terrible. And like you were talking about the triangle thing with the.
This didn't have any of them.
Good story with good acting, but directing and all that's terrible. Whatever.
I think you're like writing, directing, and acting were your things. If you got all those things,
if you got two of them, you got an okay movie. Or whatever. This had nothing. The only redeemable part, like you said, was the scroll at the beginning was sort of funny. Not if you're 24 years old or whatever.
Right, and not even greatly funny. Just 20, like, I mean, it's something you and I would have done if we had the technology back in the day when we were filming stupid little skits.
Yeah,
and we would have laughed ourselves silly with it, and then would have moved on, and our lives would have just gone nowhere with it.
Right.
But yeah, I know this is a prime example of they had the idea, the title of the movie before.
Yeah.
They had a script, which I'm sure this guy was sitting on this, knowing like, hey, this public domain's coming up. I'm going to write a horror film. Everybody's like, yeah, that sounds great.
I don't know, dude. I feel like, I mean, sure, maybe. I feel like this was written as soon as they found out. I feel like this was written and they started making it instantly, because there's just nothing really cohesive about it at all.
Well, because and I know you don't like them, but at least the Winnie the Pooh films, I think he was thinking those out, because he's got a whole slew of those films coming.
Yeah.
And it seems like he was putting some thought to them, and he's got more of a budget. And I mean, the writing is marginally better, I guess. Hang on, I got a couple more things. Why does everybody love Alex, the girl? She's not that good looking. She's just not. And I mean, this is very, very superficial, but she's okay. But like the main character is in love with her. The angsty girl's in love with her. The nerd's in love with her. I was like, do they not see the other super hot girl like in the corset? What's wrong with that girl? Why is nobody trying to get that girl? You all want to get the girl who looks like, I don't know. Stupid.
Next.
When did the nerd, Marcus, keep in mind, this was a birthday party celebration for Alex. We're going to surprise her. All hell breaks loose at the Chuck E. Cheese. Sometime in between all this chaos, Nerd Boy gets a chance to set up the international flavor of sour candies.
Right.
Completely aside from everything else in the building, he has time to go and set all this up.
Yeah.
A, not needed. B, never explained. And lastly, the fight scene with the hockey dudes in the bar. I mean, it was so bad.
Yeah.
It's like the guy's holding the knife, right? Or whatever. And you see the punch of that guy rears back. He comes in slowly. Whack. This guy drops like, I mean, if that's how fights go, I'm going out and starting some shit tonight.
It's like they intended to speed the film up a little bit to make it a little more natural looking, and they forgot.
That's probably exactly.
Okay, this is where I'm going to swing like this.
Yeah. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I got nothing else.
I just feel like you want to change your score.
Yeah, shit. I don't know.
All right, we beat this thing to death.
It's 4 or 5. I mean, I don't care. It could be 5. It could be 5.
Hey, that's why I said 4.5.
Yeah, I'll give it 4.9.
Ah, shit. I don't know.
I'll be like Dave Portnoy, the guy who does the pizza thing.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the rules. One bite.
Yeah.
Then eats the entire slice.
So guys, look, this movie is terrible. Nobody suggests that you should see it. Ever. It's and when I say marginally, I mean marginally better than Creepypasta, which is another one we recently talked about, is terrible. It's not redeemable in any way. It's hot garbage. It's a dumpster fire. It's every analogy you can come up with. I don't know what the hell they were thinking when they made it. And if you got this far, for God's sakes, please like this video and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Yeah. I know there's nobody here at this point, but if you are, please do so, because we would really like it.
Let me say this, and again, just so people, if you're still watching, understand, this is what the whole premise of Flick Flops was about. We would watch these bad films. When it seems like we're carrying on and ranting, this is what we do this for you. We watch this stuff. And if there was something good about it, we would say, hey, you know what? Do watch it. It's bad, but watch it. It's good.
Yeah.
This is bad, and it's bad. Still watch it. Again, just if you like this, if you have an idea, you think you want to watch this, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. That's Andy's recommendation.
Yeah.
Gary totally disagrees with me on that.
Yeah, not really. I don't really think that's a good movie either, but Gary, I will say that. I will say this.
Go watch Halloween. You want to watch a slasher film?
Yeah. Watch something that's Anyway, gosh, so hard to even talk about. Some of these are so bad. Thanks everybody. We appreciate it. Yeah, here you go. Flex. All right, we're out of here. On Andy, one more flex before we go.
Son of a.
This has been a Touch of Madness production, brought to you by the creative minds at Tommy Twins Media.